y'all, my name is Lindsay and today I am going to be doing the Unpopular Opinions book tag. And I am scared to do this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. I'm afraid that I'm going to really upset some people, but I feel like this is said in every one of these videos, but obviously if I say that I don't like a book or a character or a series or an author that you love, I am not in any way trying to offend you or hurt your feelings. Like, that's what's so great about this community, is we can all have different opinions and different views and still be able to have a civilized conversation and respect each other's opinions. And there's been so many times where I've had books that I've loved or series that I've loved where another booktuber really doesn't like them, and it never hurts my feelings, it never offends me. It's always interesting for me to see their perspective. If you don't want to watch this, if you're afraid, just don't. We'll just go ahead and get started. Actually, I don't like how that's looking. Sorry, I had to fix my setup a little bit. It was a little weird. So if you see me looking over at my, over here, I'm looking at my computer to look at the questions. Let's just go ahead and get started. The first question is a popular book or series that you didn't like. So I'm going to do a series and I'm going to do a book for this question. The series that I did not like was the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series by Laini Taylor. This actually, it's raining. Why does this happen to me? It is pouring down rain. Okay. The Daughter of Smoke and Bones book. I loved the first 75 or 80% of this book. And I mean, I loved it. I genuinely did. And the last part of this book pissed me off so bad. And I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to say what happened. I have a vlog where I talk about this. I think it's a 24-hour readathon that my mama and I did. We both read this book in that 24-hour time span. I did not like it. My mom did. My mama loved it. Because of the last 25% of the book, I did not like it. It was bothersome to me. I didn't like how that turned out. It annoyed me. It really did. And I just could not come back from that. And I even tried to read the second book, which I think is, I actually am not sure. The second book is called Days of Blood and Starlight. I tried to even get into that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was so, and it kind of just ruined it for me. And I feel like that was a risk that the author took, which I really respect that. I can definitely respect risk in a book. And it just depends on the person. Like I said, my mom loved the ending of this book. She loved it, obsessed with it. The reason she hasn't really continued on in the series is because there's a lot of characters in the second book, and she has a hard time with a lot of characters, so she's just having some trouble with it. That's why. And my mom and I argued about it. I remember that. I think we argue in the vlog. It was so funny. Not argue, just like a heated discussion, basically. But she loved it. I just didn't. And I feel like that's just how this is gonna work. And when I talked about this, I had people telling me, oh, I really, really loved it, but I understand why you didn't like it. And then I had people say, I completely agree with you. I didn't like the ending either. It turned it off for me. So, like I said, I really respect that she took a risk. She's a beautiful writer. Oh my God, her writing style is brilliant. This was not a bad book in the sense that it was trash or anything. It was a great book. It's just more about taste and people's perspective and personal opinions that is what matters. I didn't like the direction she was going with it, basically. I thought it was going to go in a different direction, and I mean, I don't mind it when books don't go the way that I thought they were going to go, but how it happened, I just didn't want that to happen, and I was so disappointed. That is the series that I don't like. No offense to Laini Taylor, seriously, beautiful writer. Beautiful. And I will be reading Strange the Dreamer soon. I will be reading that because I do love her writing style. The next book, this is the unpopular book. Or the popular book that I don't like. So this is just a standalone book, and that is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I really had high expectations for this book. I really wanted to love it. I went into it thinking that it was just going to be life-altering and beautiful and something that was just going to change me and touch my soul, and I read it and it didn't do that. I was bored And the main character, the man narrating, the guy narrating this, I think it was Ari. Ari is the one narrating this book. I would have liked this book so much more if they would have alternated between Ari and Dante. I really liked Dante. I loved Dante. But I did not like Ari at all. He just was so unlikable to me, and I don't mind unlikable characters. I can get on board with that. I really can. It's not my main characters don't have to be likable for me, but I do have to in some way, shape, or form find them interesting or anything like that. I just found him annoying. I felt he complained a lot. I just didn't like his personality a ton. I feel like if Dante would have had more parts with narration, or if he would have had a chunk where he narrated, like, you know, just each chapter going back and forth, I would have loved this book so much better, because the writing's beautiful. It is. It's beautifully written, and the ending was fantastic. The ending is what made me really, like, give it an extra star and not say it was, like, the worst book I've ever read, because it wasn't. It was just kind of boring for me, and the ending, though, saved it. It saved it from being a 1-star book. The ending was fantastic. I did love the ending, but the book itself I did not like. And I'm so sorry, but I didn't. Number 2, a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate, but you love. This one, I don't know if everyone hates it, but I just find that I have seen a lot of people not love it as much as I do, and they're just like, it's okay, it's mediocre, and I don't think it's mediocre at all. And I do know that several people, many people do love this series, but I just have noticed that there's also several people, many people, that don't. That is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I love this series. It is probably like my top 3 favorite series ever. Escaping from Houdini just came out. This is a book that I think about all the time. All the first 2 books, and even what I've read so far of Escaping from Houdini, I think about it all the time, and I'm having a hard time reading Escaping from Houdini because I know I'm going to have to wait a whole other year for the 4th and final book to come out, and I think because of that, I don't want to read it right away, and I don't want to read it all in just, you know, in a short amount of time. I want to stretch it out as much as I can, and I'm having a really hard time just sitting and reading it because I just obsess over this. When I finished Hunting Prince Dracula and had to wait months to get the 3rd book, I just thought about it all the time. It's one of those books that just kept with me, and I kept thinking about it, and I love Audrey Rose so much, and Thomas Cresswell is, like, amazing. I ship them so hard. They're probably my absolute favorite couple of all time. Just, it's so healthy. It's such a healthy relationship, and YA needs more relationships like this. They just do. It's just an unbelievably healthy relationship. I do get why people get annoyed with this, because it's called Stalking Jack the Ripper, and on the back it says, I was the girl who loved the Ripper. They thought it was going to be about a girl who was obsessed with this murderer and who was so in love with him, and that's not really what it's about. It's not in that perspective. So I get why people get a little annoyed by that. They feel a little deceived, but it's still a great book. I felt the same way. I was like, oh wait, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. But I was like, but it's better. I love it. I just love it. So I love this book. That's all. I just love this book. Number 3 is a love triangle where the main character ended up with the person you did not want them to end up with, or an OTP that you don't like. I'm going to go with an OTP that I don't like because I don't want to spoil anything, and I honestly don't have an answer for the first part of the question, and I almost didn't have an answer for this. A couple that I don't like together, or an OTP, is Katniss and Gale. They were an OTP. People were like either Katniss and Peeta or Katniss and Gale. I don't like Gale. Like, I don't, and I just don't like them together. I think that they're like 2 very similar personalities, and throwing them together is not a great idea. And I don't hate Gale or anything. He just definitely wasn't my favorite person in this series at all. I have to still finish the 3rd book. I haven't yet. But I'm like reading it, but I haven't finished it. It's so bad how I do that. I just don't like them together, and I did not understand that OTP at all. I just don't like them. The fourth question is a popular book genre that you heartily reach for, and that is sci-fi. I have a sci-fi book here, Scarlet, by Marissa Meyer. This is the Lunar Chronicles. I read Cinder. It was okay. I didn't love it. And I need to get into this because I do want to continue. What is that? I do want to continue on with the series, but I'm just so not into sci-fi. And I've got the only sci-fi books that I have loved ever is the Illuminae Files. Oh my god, what am I doing? The Illuminae Files trilogy. I absolutely loved that. And it was in space and everything, and I don't even like space. Obsessed. Am going to be rereading those several times in the future. That's basically the only sci-fi that I enjoy. I can't think of any other sci-fi that I enjoy at the moment. And even with movies and TV shows, I just don't like it. I love Star Wars, but that's it. I'm just not a fan, so I don't reach for this very often, and I've tried. It is not from a lack of trying. I have tried to love sci-fi. I just don't, and I really hate that because I want to be a part of that world because they're so like hardcore and they love their books, and I want to love those books, but I just can't get into it. Question number 5, a popular or beloved character that you do not like. For this one, I'm going to go with Evie O'Neill in The Diviners. I do not like her, and there's several booktubers that I have watched reviews of this, and they really like her. Not all of them, but a lot of them, and I'm just like, I do not like that woman. She's so annoying, and she's so conceited and cocky and rude and just me, and she's just selfish, and I just don't like her at all. I just can't stand her. I like so many other characters in the series, and I had a hard time with this one because she was so prominent in it, but Layer of Dreams was so much better because I got to actually like follow characters that I genuinely liked, and she wasn't in it as much, which helped. I don't mind her presence necessarily, like I don't want anything bad to happen to her. She just annoys me to death. I just can't handle her like being like the main focus of a book. It's best that she's not for me. Number 6, a popular author that you can't seem to get into. For me, this one is going to be Stephanie Perkins. And okay, this book I actually loved. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. However, I have no desire to read Lola and the Boy Next Door or Ala and the Happily Ever After. No desire. None. And this book I did not like at all. I did really like this book. It was a little problematic for me at times, and I don't know if I want to lower my rating. I don't think I do right now, but when I had a really hard time getting into the first like 100 pages, and that's how this one was, and this one's shorter, so 100 pages is a long time to get into something, and even then it was still pretty boring. But this, I don't know, I just can't get into her, and I don't have the desire to pick up any of her other books. Have a hard time getting into the story. Even if I end up really liking the story, I still feel like that's way too long to start to be interested in a book. So that's a personal opinion. She's a great writer. My mom loves her. My mom's obsessed with her. She loves her. Number 7, a popular book trope that you're tired of seeing. So I feel like this one, I don't know if this is a trope. I just want to see more female relationships. We have a lot of relationships with LGBTQ where they're both men, but we hardly have any really good novels where there's 2 women that are in love, and that really bothers me because I'd love to see more of that. And I think it's great that there's a lot of storylines where 2 men are in love and there's a romance there. That's so great, and I'm not saying I want that to stop at all by any means. I'm just saying I want to see more female romances. That's all I'm saying. So I don't even know if that's a trope, but that's just something that I want to see more of. It annoys me that it's not happening as often. I feel like it needs to, and it just really upsets me. And I'm trying to think if there's any other tropes that I really can't stand. And I know there is, and I can't think of any right now. And I know there's so many tropes that I absolutely can't stand, and I don't understand why I can't think of anything. I guess another one would be how there's always seems to be one specific type of woman that people want, like when it comes to how strong a female character is, like how they need to be super powerful or strong, like in physical sense, or they have to be like non-emotional, doesn't like to wear anything feminine, or like when it comes to their sexuality, when it comes to like they either have to be a virgin or, you know, like, and I'm a virgin, so I love reading books about females that haven't lost their virginity yet. It makes me feel not so alone, but not every single woman needs to be a virgin to be desirable. Oh my God, it's so annoying. I just cannot stand that. So like I said, I love reading stories like that because it makes me feel not so alone, but not every single woman needs to be like that, and not every single woman in a book needs to be non-emotional, doesn't like to wear feminine things, doesn't like to do feminine things, has to be physically really strong and powerful, or, you know, have this certain... Women are so complex. There's so many different types of women. So many different types of women. I want to embrace all different types of women and not just one specific type that people have in mind, if you know what I'm saying. That's what I want. I just want there to be a more diverse, more... I don't know, just different types of women. That's all. Women are wonderful. There are so many different types of women with their personality, sexuality, how we look, all of it. So many different wonderful things that women are capable of, and I just want all of that to be recognized. I want all of that to be represented and not just one type of female character. And I hope I'm making sense with that. I don't know if I am. If I'm not, I'm so sorry. Number 8, a popular series that you have no interest in reading. So I actually bought this book because I was interested in reading it, and now I'm not. And that is The Queen of Tearling by Erica Johansson. I might still read this just to give it a try. But after I bought it, I think it was like a few weeks later, I just didn't want to read it anymore. I kept looking at it and I was like, I don't want to read that. Why did I buy it? I don't want to read that at all. But I did at first. Like, I wanted to read it at one point, but now I don't. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to pick it up. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. Number 9, the saying goes, the book is always better than the movie, but what movie or TV show adaptation do you prefer more than the book? This one... I don't prefer these more than the book. I just think that the movie adaptations are just as good as the book. 2 books that I'm thinking of right now are Perks of Being a Wallflower and Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I love both of these books. Some of the best books I've ever read in my entire life, and that is a very genuine statement. I just love both of these novels. But I really love the movies too. Like, I loved the movies. I loved this movie, and I loved this movie. I've seen this movie like a million times. I've also seen this movie a million times, so I love both of these so much, but I'm also just so obsessed with the books, and I will be rereading these over and over and over again. Like, I've just read these within the past year or so. I read this one back in March, I think, and this one I read in December of last year, or the end of November. I've recently read these, and I loved both of them, and I've just watched the movies several times since I've read the books. I just love these books, and I love the movies, so that's how I am answering that question. There you go. So that is all of the questions. Oh my god. That is it, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you want to follow me on my social media accounts or add me on anything, I will put all of my social media in the description bar. Also, at the end of this video, you're going to see some things pop up, so you will see my face right here. And you can click that and subscribe to me if you like me and want to see more from me. I'm also going to put right here the last video that I uploaded, and then over here the video is going to be recommended to you by YouTube, just something they feel like you would like to watch. Maybe. If you guys would like to do that, you can. Also, like this video if you enjoyed it, and comment some of your unpopular opinions if you would like, or if you want to answer all of the questions, you can. I will also link the original creator of this tag, her video, in the description bar. So that is all for this video. I hope you all liked it, and I will see y'all later. Bye! Okay, thumbnail for this is going to be interesting to make. How do I do this? What am I doing? What am I doing? This is so awkward. I don't want to hold up any of the books because that's like spoilers. What is wrong? What is up with this piece of hair? Can anybody explain that to me? I guess I need to try another one. already did that one. That's good, I think. We're good.